morning, good evening, good morning. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? Yet again, another day the Lord has made. How y'all doing out there? Tuesday night? Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday. How y'all doing? About this. I'm excited about this. Too excited. I'm gonna calm down a little bit. Try it. Anyway. Ma'am, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me? I got my
Yes,
my
yes,
AirPods
I can.
in.
Yeah.
Okay,
How you
perfect.
doing?
I'm
I'm
doing good. How are
nervous.
you?
I'm nervous.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So I don't know if you know, but it was difficult reaching out to you. But the fact that I did. Why,
Why?
man? Like, have you heard how you talk? It's like somebody could listen to you all day, every day. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah. So,
I
when you
appreciate that.
responded, I got goosebumps like I was in middle school. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yes, yes. So, it
That's what's
is
up.
it's
That's what's
awesome. I
up.
appreciate you for reaching back out to me, talking to me. And, we're gonna
Hmm.
we gonna get this thing started. We're gonna get this show started. Let me turn
Okay.
this off. So, welcome to the Right Mentality. I appreciate you for being
All
here.
right.
Thank you for, getting back to me and talking to me. And
Mhm.
we got a show. We got some questions, and
Okay.
I'm a
All right.
focus on the questions, but at the same time, I'm gonna focus on what you're saying because your voice is soothing. So, you know, yeah.
I
So,
appreciate that.
good people,
Okay.
welcome, Miss Lisa Marie. Now, fortunately,
Hmm.
you're one of the easier names I could pronounce. But it's very true. Believe me, you would not imagine the amount of names that I cannot pronounce. But typically I'll let them
Uh-oh.
introduce themselves. But Ms. Lisa Marie, good people, welcome to
Hmm.
the Mentality.
Hmm.
So today's
Thank
show
you.
is looking through my eyes. Now, I tend to do a little of my
Hmm.
research when I, bring guests on the show, talk about a lot of things, and just hearing your words and the motivation and the positivity that I can just vibe off of you from. I could
Hmm.
see a little bit of me in you. So, looking through my
Hmm. Hmm.
eyes. Now, I'm going to throw my questions at
Hmm.
you. Answer them to
Okay.
the best of your knowledge, the best that you can. I know you will.
I
So,
gotcha. I gotcha.
now, the idea, right? The idea of the world that we live in, the society that we live
Hmm.
in today, we see a lot of people looking at themselves through others, and they try to create this person
Mm.
that they typically really aren't. So, how is it, or why is it that you feel like
Hmm.
we tend to create something that we are not through somebody else?
I think the influence of people. I think being connected to people, there's something about maybe something that you are seeking and wanting to appear as that you take from other people, and it's not authentic. I think also, you know, everybody wants to be the best and most
Yeah.
perfect version of themselves. So they're lying to themselves. They're not being honest. I would rather appreciate a person just sitting in their honesty and being who they are. You don't have to be
Yeah.
like somebody else, you know? And then too, to add to it, you know, we are in a
Yeah.
social media age. Everyone wants to appear as the influencer, or, you know, you got all of your ducks in a row, everything together, when in reality, that is not your life. So I think it is the influence by the media, the influence by friends, and then this pristine image that we feel that we have to have for ourselves in order
I
to look
swear.
like we got our stuff
We
together.
really do. And I feel like it's the
Mm-hmm.
misperception of
Mm-hmm.
things that puts us and digs us into a deeper hole that we shouldn't have to be in
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. So
Absolutely.
it's like, I
Mm-hmm.
guess I would take, it's a couple of pictures that I've seen online before where it's either a man or a woman, and they're on vacation, having a good time, bags, Dolce and
Mm-hmm.
Gabbana, Gucci, and all
Mm-hmm.
that. But in the other
Mm-hmm.
picture, there
Absolutely.
are chains and weights holding on to them with debt,
Mm-hmm.
problems, depression, anxiety. So it's like you're putting on this
Mm-hmm.
facade for other people, but
Mm-hmm.
yet you're not even
That's
happy
right.
yourself. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why we as a people want to put on this act or this show when at the end of the day, those same people
Mm-hmm.
that's rooting for you and cheering for you, once you drop, they gone.
That's right.
I,
They are
I, I just
gone.
don't quite get it. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
now you do discuss self-awareness a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
would it be dangerous to say that self-aware versus being aware of yourself is more dangerous or more beneficial?
All right, so I'm
So
gonna
would
rephrase the
you say
question. It's
being more
mhm.
self-aware is either dangerous or beneficial than being aware of yourself?
You got me, because I don't know how to answer that.
Okay.
Wow, wow,
Now, I
wow.
didn't think I was going to stump you. I didn't think I was going to stump you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so is being
Hmm.
self-aware more dangerous of being aware
Yes.
of self?
Now we can dissect this thing. We can
Oh,
let's
okay, let's
let's
dissect it. Let's
understand
dissect
the
it.
difference between self-aware and being aware of self. So, what would you
Mm-hmm.
define as
Mm-hmm.
self-awareness?
Self-awareness is just, being aware, number one, of
Hmm.
truthfully who you are, how you move and mediate through situations, um, just internally, your emotions, your feelings, being aware of who you are. I mean, just
Okay,
essentially who you are and being honest
fair enough.
of that awareness.
Now,
Hmm.
being aware of self, what do you feel the difference is there?
That's why you stumped me.
Okay, so I completely agree with
Hmm.
self-awareness. Now, being aware of yourself, I feel like to me that
Hmm.
is where we tend to fall sometimes because we're not fully aware of what we are
Hmm.
capable of. So I think, who
That
was
makes
it that
sense.
said it? I think Les Brown or Eric Thomas, somebody said it, where a lot of dreams and goals are buried in the graves because we don't take full advantage of who we
Absolutely.
really are. So for me, I
Absolutely.
took a shot in the dark and sent you a message and said, hey, let me see if she'll
Hmm.
talk to me. And boom, here we are. So I think it's like you have so much potential
Hmm.
inside of yourself that you don't really want to, let let me jump, let me just take this chance and try to figure out, maybe I might hit it, maybe I might miss it. But being aware of myself and what I'm fully capable of, we tend to miss a lot of those shots, because the only shot you miss is the one that you don't take.
Absolutely.
Let me stop. Let me stop. Wait a minute.
Absolutely.
I'm getting a little too ahead of myself now. So,
But you know what? Even with you saying self-awareness and awareness of self, now that you have given the examples of, and I think that we feel that we are being, when we speak of self-awareness, we feel that we are being honest with ourselves about the way we show up, the way we are, blase, blase. But when it comes to the awareness of self, we tie that in to not showing up. And I'll give you an example. If I'm self-aware that I'm not a speaker, you know, God has called me in my dreams to be a speaker, a mentor
yeah.
to people. But I am self-aware of my anxiety. I am self-aware of my nervousness. I'm not going to walk into a place of the awareness of self stopping me because I am limited by the boundaries
Yeah.
of my self-awareness. So it's like, where do you go from understanding who you are to crossing the bridge of what was set for you? Like, we all have goals and minds and things that we want to do, and we'll easily walk into it because it
Yeah.
seems easy for us. That's what we want to do. But we become uncomfortable when it's something that maybe God has placed on us. Not wanting or knowing how to bridge from one place to the next, and making sure that that is aligned with who we are based on our initial uncomfortableness. So I don't know. That was a good question. I like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Good. So I
I
tend
like
to,
that. I like that.
it does take me time, I would say, to quite think of some of these questions. Because
Mm-hmm.
now the crazy part is, when I think about the topics of these shows, like I said, I do the research, but the questions come
Mm-hmm.
from a place I have no idea of. And it's like, each person that comes on the show, when I
Mm-hmm.
ask them a question, it might not be the first, it might not be the last, but one of the questions will stump them. And it's like, wait a minute, let me think about,
Mm-hmm.
nobody ever, got in there like that. So it's like, I wanna challenge you. I wanna understand
Mm-hmm.
the way that you think, the process that you think, because I mean, we could get up every morning and do the same thing every day, but have you challenged yourself today? Have you done something different to, make your brain,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, like, you rethink this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now I
Mm-hmm.
got a couple more for you. Hopefully they won't stump you that much, right? So what do
Mm-hmm.
you feel like is the most powerful, or what could possibly be the most powerful words that somebody can express to someone else that doesn't see them?
What is the most powerful words that someone could
Yeah.
express to someone else that doesn't see them, in the capacity of
I
what? A
would guess,
relationship, a
I would
friendship,
say
just
any type of, let's go with situationship, because there's too many out here right now. Let's just go with a situationship.
hmm. And is okay. So, what is the basis of wanting to be seen? Is it you?
So
Look, you got to
okay,
get me
all
from,
right, I got
because
you.
we can
So
go there
now,
now.
and for me, if I want to be seen, that also takes into account, I want to be heard as well. So if you can see me, you can also hear me. So if I'm speaking to you, it's a difference from listening and hearing. You can hear what I'm saying, but are you listening to me? So
Mhm,
if I ask you to look at me, are you looking
mhm,
at me, or are you looking through me? So if you're looking at me, you're focused on my body language. You're watching what I'm doing. You're watching what I'm saying. If you're just looking through me, it's like, okay, all right, I hear you. I see you for the time being. You done yet?
mhm.
Because I gotta go. So how can somebody express any type of words to a person that they feel doesn't see them or hear them in a way,
Recall to me that
in a way
go ahead. No, go ahead.
that they need to be seen or heard. So I guess in a sense, put it love language type of
So
way.
okay. All right.
Yes.
So two people who are
Yes.
connected in love, in a relationship, feeling that the other person is there physically, but not seeing them, not honing
Yes.
into who they are. Not then that conversation needs to ensue with asking questions. Just to dig into their mind, what part of me do you see and what part of me do you understand? When I'm talking to you and we're having a
Mm-hmm.
conversation, are you listening? Are you understanding my deep desires? Is my conversation just a conversation piece, or are you really understanding me for who I am? I need you to listen to me and understand that we're just going to say if it was, I'll use me and you for example, okay? And I'm not feeling
Mm-hmm.
that you're hearing me. You're there, but not you're not hearing me. Then my conversation would be, who am I to you? Who do I represent to you? When you think about me, describe me, give me words. And the reason why I'm asking you this is because any interaction that we have is surface level. Anything that we talk about is how's work. You're telling me what you're doing, but you're not asking me the questions to get to learn me in the inside. So therefore, I need to know what it is, what kind of conversations we need to have going forward. I need you to I need you to connect with me at a deeper level. Maybe you don't know what it means to be connected,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't show up for me. But I'll give you this opportunity to teach you, and we'll go from there. I think sometimes when situations like that, especially, um, some people, it's it's really not their fault completely that maybe they don't know how to show up for people. I'm gonna use this for example, and this is like modern day what I feel like
Okay.
relationships are going to. And I have these conversations with women so many times. So in the era in which I grew up seeing my parents and my grandparents, you know,
Mm-hmm.
women, men had a role. You got together, it was split, right? What I'm seeing that's happening now is that men are the breadwinner, they are the cake, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Caking, you know, it's the dynamics of relationships and
Mm-hmm.
connections have changed. Women sit in the capacity, and I'm not saying every woman, so let me take that back. What I'm seeing is women sitting in the capacity of saying, I want this, and
Yeah.
this. I want all of these things. And so a man who has had previous relationships with other women who show up that way, all he knows how to do is
Yeah.
give. All he knows how to do is pay a bill. All he knows how, you know, so he is taught by what he's experienced and he's seen. Therefore, when that woman gets to a point,
Yeah.
I don't feel seen because all you doing, it could be a new
Mm-hmm.
person. I don't feel seen. You know, what is this? What because he didn't know how to
Exactly.
see you deeply.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
When-
Yeah.
Look, I don't want you to step on too many toes, okay? But that is
Okay,
step on
I'm
all
not,
of them,
I'm
okay?
not.
All of them. But that
Mm-hmm.
is the basis of it because I feel like in relationships today, you know, a lot of people once they start out, it's the honeymoon phase. It's awesome. We talking, we having a good
Mm-hmm.
time. And
Mm-hmm.
once it's like month one, two,
Mm-hmm.
or three, you in there, and it's like, what you really know about me? How you how do you know
Exactly.
how I feel when I stump my toe? How do you know how I feel if I
Oh.
don't pass this exam? Like, are you listening to me when I talk
Mm.
to you, or are you just hearing me
Mm-hmm.
so we can get in the bed? Which one is it? And it's like I
That's
don't
right.
think people really
That's right.
truly understand that part. Surface level is my favorite color. Everybody knows that 'cause I wear that every day. Okay.
Mm.
So like
Mm-hmm.
that's something simple, but getting deep and digging and
Mm-hmm.
diving and trying to understand my mind is like, Antonio, come sit down with me.
Mm-hmm.
I learned the
Mm-hmm.
technique of sitting back to back with your partner, whoever it is, anybody that you have conflict with or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sit back to back and express yourself, because that way you don't have to see each other, but you can open express yourself
Mm-hmm.
without having to worry about that person's facial reactions, and then you feeling like you got to hold
Yes.
something back because people read my face wrong all the
Mm-hmm.
time. So
That's
so
right.
I feel like we don't dig deep enough. And like you said, we stick to the I need this, I need that. And like you said, when a man provides these things, and then when it gets deeper for that person and they feel like, oh, you're not seeing me or
Mm-hmm.
hearing me, well, I gave you what you asked for. Now you require a little bit more,
Exactly.
but I only learn the pieces of you that
Mm-hmm.
you allow me to have. Woo!
Mm.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay.
You
So
you
I'm
gotta
just
go
saying,
there.
it's like I feel like we gotta get
You're so
a
right.
little bit deeper. You gotta dig that shovel a little bit deeper in that dirt to actually figure out not just somebody
Mm-hmm.
else, but yourself. Because if you don't know you, you can't know yourself enough
Mm.
to give to somebody else.
You're so right about that. You are absolutely correct about that. Come on now, preach.
Don't hype me up now. Don't
Yes.
hype me up.
Yes.
So
I'm hype you up. I'm
I
hype you
feel
up. I'm
like
hype you up.
you giving
Mm-hmm.
you giving the vibes. I'm giving you the vibes. So now let me take it to this. Do you feel like we as a people have it kind of goes back to the first question, but do you feel like we as a people we've lost ourselves in others? Okay.
Yes,
Tell me how.
absolutely. Mm. So since the last thing that we
Okay.
talked about was relationship, I'll
Okay.
go there and then I'll go to friendship and um the way I think that we've lost ourselves in relationships um is not getting to the source of number one, the foundation of a relationship. Just what I spoke about earlier. Um, People are having hookups, they are
Oof.
connecting
Soul ties.
surface
Soul
level.
ties.
Though, I mean, and I think now, again, I'm gonna go back to
Mhm.
what we see um, at social media because to me, I remember a time
Yeah.
when this wasn't a thing, right? And so the relationship and the connection that you had with somebody was real because you wasn't showing
Yeah.
up any type of way for nobody else. So even in this relationship thing, like women or men are losing themselves by trying to show up like the next partnership
Yeah.
and relationship that they see. Okay. Well, why we ain't taking pictures on social media? Why you won't post our vacations and why you know what I'm saying? Why you won't do this? Because we got to show up a certain way. So it appears to be on the outside that we're
Yeah.
happy. But see, I remember back when you didn't have that and between the two of y'all,
Yeah.
y'all were happy. It's the same thing as friendships, girl women connections, right? Women want to show up, some, I'll say some, because look, they'll get you if you
Yeah.
if you are generalizing. Some women, and I can only
Mhm.
speak on women because I am a woman. Some women want the idealistic friendship where they're going to
Yeah.
brunch and they're dressing up and they're doing this and they're doing that. But baby, when is the moment that our friendship is real? When I can come to you
Yes.
in prayer, when I can come to you when I need you. I can take a beautiful picture with you all day about this brunch or just this connection that we have, but if everything represented to me in a friendship is what it seems like
Yeah.
today, I don't want it. I just want connections that are real and that are true. Therefore, that is why I think that people are losing themselves in relationships and friendships because the way in which this thing is showing up is so,
Find
it
it.
is so, it is so,
Okay.
it's not authentic.
Yes.
It's not authentic. It's just, it's not authentic, um, because we feel we have to, many people feel they have to outwardly appear a
Yep.
certain way to others, um, and lying to themselves about
Listen,
who they are.
that part where
Mm.
I don't like it because like you said, to me, I got a friend. And when I say friend, I got a brother.
Mm-hmm.
If he sees me
Mm.
doing something that he knows isn't right,
Mm.
he will call me out. And that's the friend that I need. That's the type of friend I want that friend to sit me down and be like, listen, my boy,
Yes.
um, I don't know what you doing out here, but you messing up. Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
I love you to death, but you gotta stop
Mm-hmm.
doing what you're doing. Now, you have some friends that's gonna be like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man, I think that's a good idea. I think you should do that. I think that'd be okay.
Right.
What I need you for? Because at the end of the day, when I get locked
Yes.
up, oh man, I can't help you, bro.
Oh,
I wish I could, but that one that sits you down and criticizes you, but it ain't just regular criticism, it's
yes.
constructive criticism because I don't want you to fail. I want you to do better. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
recognize your faults and come
Mm-hmm.
back and progress forward in the world. I don't want no fake friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want no fake people around
Oh.
me to give me false hope to
Mm-hmm.
think, yeah, it's gonna be all right. No, I want that friend.
Yeah.
No, you fucked
It's
up.
not.
That's the one I want. That's the one I want right there. That's you need it.
But in reality, that is
Yep,
the type of friendships that people are running away from. People want
yep,
friendships that are yes, 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 yes. You're doing stuff that you ain't got no business doing, but they're agreeing with it. Yeah, go ahead and do that because they
yep.
are added into the fun as well. Instead of us being like, nah,
Exactly.
I don't think you should do this. Or,
Yep,
let's talk about this. Like, let's have a deep conversation. Everybody wants to be
yep,
a friend on the level of just appearing as friends. But as soon as you have a problem or you're faced with
yep.
adversity, you will find
Very,
who your
very
friends
true.
really are.
Listen, I'm cool with
Mm-hmm.
having two or three friends. I'm cool with that. Like for me,
Mm,
I work with kids.
absolutely.
So, I work with kids all day. They tell me, oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Mr. Wright, I got about 18, 15 friends. That's cool. That's cool. Um, but when you get in trouble, is Johnny gonna come help you? No. So I don't want to.
But see, in the concept of children,
No,
they don't understand
they ain't
because
ready
they
for it.
they haven't even lived life. So it's like even when you hear it
Mhm.
as an adult, you're like, all
Yeah,
right, okay,
yeah.
keep living, keep living.
We ain't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't realize it
Yeah,
until we got where we at today.
I
I
know.
thought Mama was joking back then.
That's right.
You got to find out for yourself. But like you said, you have to have
That's
those
right.
types of people around you. If not, you're gonna end
Absolutely.
up creating this life for them that they want to see within you.
Mm-hmm.
And then in turn, they're gonna turn
Mm-hmm.
around and look at you and be like, "What you doing?" I was trying to, you said this was a good idea. Oh, so if I said jump off the roof, you gonna do that too? Like I said, I don't need those people around me, and I wouldn't want somebody else to have those certain people around them either. So if you got that friend that's faking the
Absolutely.
funk around you, I'm gonna be that real friend and be like, "Listen, man,
Mm-hmm.
they messing with you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I love you. They might love you too,
Mm-hmm.
but I love you in a different way. Let you. Sometimes you
That's
have to let
right.
people go in order to progress in this life. Like
Mm-hmm.
you hold on to these
Mm.
relationships and situationships
Yes.
because you feel like it's benefiting you, or I
Mm-hmm.
did this for me in
Mm-hmm.
1964. It's 2023. Let it go. So yes.
Yes.
Yeah. All
Yes.
right. Let me keep
Yes.
moving. Let me keep
Get
moving.
yourself
So
together.
now, listen.
Okay.
You out
Mm-hmm.
here, you working hard, you spreading these words of wisdom and knowledge, and motivation, and if
Mm-hmm.
y'all don't know who she is, please go listen to her, because I fell asleep to her YouTube last night. And, you know, it put me. It was like a
Oh
wave
my
of,
goodness.
it was a
Oh.
melody. But yes, so now, Miss Lisa, did you ever envision
Mm-hmm.
yourself
Hmm.
being at the place that you are today in life?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. And I'll explain that. Just what I was saying earlier. So, I always say that sometimes who we are destined to be shows up in our childhood. And it's by like the growth
Mm,
that we stop ourselves. So I remember I was in, I can't remember, it was elementary school, I think it was middle school, and I had a teacher, and she wanted me to do
okay.
what they call the oratorical contest. And it was speaking on a subject. And I fought against it. I said, I don't want to do it. I'm nervous. I'm scared. And I'll preface it with this. Not that
Mm-hmm.
color matters, but this teacher was a white teacher who just really, really sold into me, and she believed in me. And so she was like, "Oh, I want you to do the oratorical contest. Come after school. I'll work with you on how to speak and blase, blase." Boom. And I was totally against it. So anyway, I did it, and I got third place. And she was just so happy. She was happy for me as if I got first place. And I swear
Yeah.
up and down, I wasn't gonna do it again. And the next year, she wasn't even my teacher, but she wanted me to do it. She was like, "I want you to do it." No, I didn't do it that year. From that moment on, especially when I was in high school, I would get these, some people, when people say, "I
Yeah.
heard the Lord say," I don't hear the Lord say nothing to me. I see these things
Mm-hmm.
through visions. So, my high school year, I was getting these visions, right? My senior year of high school, I had a male teacher who they want to start something new with doing the morning news report. And so he was like, "I want you to do the morning news report, just
Yeah.
the activities of the day. You come in the morning." And during that time, I was interested in journalism. And so I did it. And he was like, "That's what you need to take when you go to school." So I entered and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to be a journalist." And then I took 2 or 3
Yeah.
classes and I was like, "Nah, this ain't for me." The dream still began to follow me. I had a lady to prophesy over me. And she said, "Whatever you're doing right now is not what God particularly wants you to do. Your mission is to use your mouth and speak." This lady didn't know me from a can of paint. I'm talking about I was in a retail store and she came to me and said it. And so, number one, she didn't even know the visions that I was having. She didn't know the backstory of how many people were trying to implant me into that position. And she just didn't know me. So it was like, okay, that was another thing. Life happened. I started going through things. And, it may sound crazy to some people, but my way of always coping with issues and problems was I would sit there. It sounds crazy, but I would have a conversation with self because I've never had
Oh,
anybody
them
that
the
I could just
best
talk
conversations.
to.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it's like figuring it out, and being like really like my only positive
Mhm.
motivator. And about 2 years ago, the dreams began to come back. And the vision that I had was God telling me in the dream, write it down.
Okay.
He wasn't specific. The dream, my dream said, God said, write it down. I began to write, and then God gave me like the ease of speaking where I wasn't nervous. I was just showing up as my authentic self. And everything that from a child all the way into adulthood, that everyone was trying to put me in that position and do those things. They saw it, but I didn't. I'm nervous. What do you mean? And then, the dream of God saying, write it down. But what he wanted me to do was write down how I was
Yeah.
feeling and how I processed things and how I got through. And so it manifested into him giving me the ability to speak with no nervousness and being honest. And so that's where I am right now. But it was also not counting myself out and not saying that when I show up, that I have to show up perfectly, that I'm being raw, real, and honest with, the path that I took, the path that
Yeah.
I'm, going to take, and just be personable about life,
That's
period.
awesome. Listen, I'm
Hmm.
gonna empathize with you, right? So I never saw
Hmm.
myself doing this ever, ever.
Wow.
I
Hmm.
Hearing you talk about that made me go way back.
Hmm.
I used to work in a
Wow.
grocery store.
Hmm.
I'm in line. Lady comes up to my register, white lady, and it's crazy.
Hmm.
She comes up to me, I'm like, "Hey, how you doing today?" I think I was like 17 at the
Hmm.
time, and she was like, "Oh," she said, "Your voice." I said, "Thank you." She was
Hmm.
like, "You sound like you sound like your voice is real deep. Like you should be on the radio." I said, "Oh, thank you." I said, "You're the first person to ever tell
Wow.
me that." She was like, "Yeah,
Hmm.
it's very like it's
Hmm.
gravitating." I said, "Okay, thank you." Paid it no mind. I kept going with my
Hmm.
life. I
Hmm.
was in the process of. I mean, I honestly love speaking about it because it's something that we all go through in life. I was going through a divorce in
Hmm.
2019, and I was in school getting my master's.
Hmm.
Difficult, right? Difficult trying to do that and
Wow.
at the same time.
Hmm.
I went and I was in
Oh,
Atlanta,
goodness.
Georgia. I'm in class full of women because, of course, mental health is primarily a woman's field. So I'm in the classroom
Ah,
and
yes.
it's my turn to talk. I'm not really in it, but I'm in it. I got to do what I got to do. I'm here. I started talking. I gave my
Hmm.
synopsis and telling everybody what I would do, and it was just, teacher was like, "Give feedback to Antonio," and they were just like, "Your voice is something that I would listen to all day long,"
Mm.
and it was a woman in there. I think
Hmm.
she was 50, just got married 3 days ago. She said, "Antonio, let me tell you something."
Hmm.
She said, "If I wasn't married, if I didn't get married 3 days ago," I said, "Wait
Oh
a minute, wait a minute." admit it.
She hit you with
That,
that.
and then
Uh,
what took
mm,
me to the level that I'm at now, it followed me from me leaving there, going
mm,
into check into my hotel room. It's so crazy. It just followed.
wow.
I go up to the counter. Lady was like, "Can I help you?" I said a couple of words. "Can I check into my room?" She said, "Listen,
Mm.
sir, you talk to," she said, "Sir, you talk to me like that, you can check in
Mhm.
anything you want to. I just want to check in my
Oh,
room, man. I just want to check in my room. That's it." It was like she said, "Your
wow. Mhm.
voice." I
Mhm.
said, "What is it about my voice?"
Wow.
I didn't hear it. I didn't see
Mhm.
it. But other people saw it. But going back to
Right.
that white lady at the grocery store that told me you should
Mm.
be on a radio
Wow.
show where people can hear you.
Mm.
I ain't all famous like you and all that yet. We we ain't out there yet. But we getting there. But it's the fact that I heard that, taking it to what you just said, and then on top of that, my friends and family, I could be going through one of the worst situations in life. I remember I got pulled over by the police. I was speeding, but I got pulled over.
Mhm.
I knew I was speeding. Not only did one pull me over, four more came up behind him. So I'm like, yo, what did I do?
Oh
So,
man.
he comes up
Yes.
to the car and he was like, "Hey, you was speeding." And I said, "Okay. You mind if I ask why you got so many?" You just for my protection. Okay.
Mhm.
Just a traffic stop or
Mhm.
whatever. At that time, I was on the phone with my friend and she was just like, "Why are you so
Mhm.
calm right now?" I said, "Because I get to go
Mm.
home. That's why." I said, I could have blew the
Oh,
whole situation up.
wow.
I could have got shot, arrested, thrown in jail,
Absolutely.
but I remained calm and I
Absolutely.
went on about my day. She was like,
Mhm.
"But you're so calm, like you happy." Like I would have been crying and sad. For what is that gonna do? What's that gonna solve? It's not
Mm.
gonna do anything
That
for
part.
me. So I
That
said,
part.
"Thank you, Lord." Go on about
Mhm.
my day. And it's like they was like, "Yo, you just so like,"
Mhm.
and friends will
Mhm.
call me and be like, "Yo, I just need some words today. Just give me some words." I'm just a
Wow.
words God. My top love language is words of affirmation.
Wow.
I can give you
Oh,
words every
yes.
single day to
Absolutely.
I can put you in the spirit. I can put you in the spirit.
Ooh,
But
yes.
yes, it's like just like I said, just
Yes.
hearing you say that and just like I never would have thought just hearing one person tell you what you should be doing
Mm.
has transitioned.
What
Yes,
you
has
should be
transitioned
doing.
you into where you at today. Like I
Mhm.
didn't think when I was ringing people's groceries up that
Mm.
I'd be sitting here talking to you right now.
It's
Yeah.
9.99. It's 7.99.
Listen, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it is just like you said, when the lady at the hotel was
Yeah.
like, your voice. People would say it and I'm like, what? It's my voice. Like it's not when we hear ourselves speak,
Yeah.
we hear ourselves, right? And we don't understand what it is. I had someone to inbox me this and um, it
Mm.
almost like got me emotional. Um, she went through the whole rigmarole, and I get a lot of those, people, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, I don't know if you've ever heard this before. She was like, your voice is like a literal hug to me. And I watched one of your videos and I just cried. And she said, you remind me of the way I wish my mother would have
Mm.
spoken to me. And I
Whew.
don't know what that did to me.
That
Like,
would have.
I got so
Uh,
emotional. I got so emotional, and I was like, Yo, the way I just, it's beautiful that even by the instruments that God gives us, like we personally take things for
Yeah.
granted because it's ours. And we don't see the usefulness in it. But when she told me that, it was like poetry to my ear. And then it's almost like that was an inbox, but then there was an influx of people who were saying the same thing. And I was like, but this is just
Yeah.
the way I talk, And it's the same thing with you. It's like you wouldn't have known that your voice is a radio voice or one that is soothing to the ear. But see, something about that is beautiful because even in the outside of it, like
Mhm.
you recognize it and I recognize it in you. But many times people don't want to hear people hollering at them, you know?
This is true. This is true.
People don't want to hear people hollering at them. And then, even in that message, when she said, I just wish the voice was that of my mother, it's like even recognizing that sometimes people have deficits in the way in which
Yeah.
a mother, you know, a
Yeah.
father hearing you speak. Speaking words of positivity, and it's like that link of that missing thing just makes it
Yeah.
okay. It makes it better. So again, like we take what we have for granted, but it's when people um, let us know that we show up this
Yeah.
way. I just think it's
Every day.
beautiful.
And it's like I love it though because it gives me a sense of knowing that this is what I should be doing. And it's like, especially
Oh,
working with
absolutely.
these children that I work with every day. Whew.
Mm.
I love kids. Well, Marty Ma, I
Oh
love the
goodness.
kids. So, it's a
Oh,
challenging thing, but at the same time, understanding that one is somebody that looks just like you, that has gone through the
mm,
same things that you're
mm.
going through, whether it's a boy or a
Yes,
girl.
yes.
Some of the things that they experience, I've already experienced. So when they see me and they, oh, you my therapist?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I
Like,
love
wait a minute,
it.
hold
I
on, let me.
love it.
No, 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 no. You're not my therapist. Yeah, let's do work. So it's like, oh, and then I'll
Yes,
talk to them. I'm not here to beat you down or make you feel bad, but at the same time, the
that's right.
primary reason it works so well, I'm the missing piece to that puzzle, which is the father figure that's not there.
Wow.
So
Mm,
although I'm only here for a
mm.
certain period of
Yes.
time, it does hurt sometimes,
Mm,
when, oh, Mr. Wright,
mm.
we done. Yeah, I'm sorry, good things must come to an end. So,
Wow.
I love doing what I do with these kids. It brings joy as well as the podcast and, mentoring people, but, just
Mm-hmm.
hearing other people tell me, like, I've only had one so far, God tell me that I had just started the podcast, and I think I was
Mm-hmm.
probably 4 or 5 episodes
Mm-hmm.
into it, and I honestly was going to quit because I was like, not seeing nothing. I'm not seeing no results.
No.
Anybody listening? None of that. I
Mm.
had did the episode one morning,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I was like, let me stop. Let me cut this out. And I was tired. So a guy
Wow.
messaged me on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, and he was like, "You don't know me. I don't know you." He said, "But the message that you put out this morning,
Mm-hmm.
it helped me to not commit suicide." I said, "Wait a minute. Wait a
Oh
minute.
my goodness. Oh my
That
goodness. Wow.
weighed so heavy on me. Like my voice got to one person enough to stop them from taking their own life." I said, "Okay,
Mm.
we back. We back because this is like absolutely
And gonna
we
keep
got to.
going.
It's if not,
Mm-hmm.
if
That's right.
nobody's listening, I'm listening.
Mm.
Somebody
Somebody.
hear what I got to
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody does.
Somebody is
So
listening.
we're
Absolutely.
gonna keep working. We're gonna keep
Mm-hmm.
grinding and putting this out there. And once again, ma'am, listen, like I said, I had you on YouTube last night. I fell asleep for all of that. It was listen, it was like put your mind in a place. I said, okay, okay. But my mind was in that place. It was in that
Close
place.
your
So
eyes.
yes, now,
Just
Miss
close your
Lisa,
eyes.
Miss Lisa,
Yes.
two pieces, two
Yes.
pieces of
Yes.
advice that you could give people listening today. What would that be?
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, two. All right. So the number one thing is don't stop
Mm,
yourself from living. If it is something that you want to do, if it is something that keeps nagging at you, if you want to go back to school, if whatever it is that you want to do not stop yourself from living. I'm gonna preface that real quick with something. I read something recently. I'll say about a year ago, but that's not recent. I read something and it was saying some of the things that elderly patients said that they regretted at the end of life. And one of them was not connecting with the love of their life. But the notorious number one thing was they wish they had
mm,
done the things that
it
they
is.
wanted to do. And now that they
Yeah.
were at the end of life, it's like, you know, so don't stop yourself from living. And then number two, regardless of what people say, regardless of how many questions they ask about how you show up for you, remember that the person that you have to take care of at the end of the day and settle with, go to sleep with, look in the like mirror to mirror is you. Outside people do not matter. If we listen to what people say on a regular basis, impeding us from our growth and things that we want to do, we will never ever get to the place that settles us, makes us happy, and just allows us to grow. So just
Yes,
sit with you.
definitely.
Other people
Def,
don't
you
matter.
look. Sometimes you really have to. You have to
Yeah.
sit with you because it's like, how do you,
Yes.
how do you feel like you're going to? How we posting this? It'll be on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It'll be everywhere.
Oh,
Um,
perfect.
so
Yay.
it's like you. I feel like the time that you don't take for yourself, you waste it on other people and
Mm-hmm.
other things instead of
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, Tony, yo,
Mm-hmm.
what we doing today, brother? Like, you got to take the time to
Yeah.
actually figure you out because I love telling my clients, the kids and the parents, if I'm no good, I
Mm.
can't be no good for you. So if I feel
Ooh.
like I'm gonna go in
Right
here
on.
and I'm gonna half-ass this day, you gonna get half-ass the work. So let me take my like one of my kids. I do my best not to, but I pull up to the house. I'll play my Kevin Gates. I'm getting my mind ready
Oh,
to go in your house.
right.
Let me
Mm-hmm.
have my 5 minutes
Mm.
or 2 phones, okay? Let me get my
Mm.
yes. Let me get my mind
Two
together
phones.
so before I go in here because I need you to understand.
Right.
I'm about to not only take, I'm about to take on what you about to give me, but I also have to give myself to you as
That's right.
well. So yeah, take time with yourself, and
Mm.
like you said,
Mm.
woo, do
That's right.
everything you can while you're here. Because when it's
Ooh,
time to go, when it's time for me
that's
to go,
right.
I want to look in the mirror and smile and be like, you did everything you said you was gonna do. Everything. I wanna
Exactly.
hop off a
Exactly.
plane.
That's right.
We one day, one day. But
Look, you too adventurous
I
for me.
said, I said, I
I'm good.
want to. I want to. But yeah. Um but yes, like she said, good people, do
Mm-hmm.
everything that you want to do, what you need to do, and sit with yourself, please, because It's 24 hours in a day. You work 8 hours a day. Some people. Um, the
That's right.
other, you got to figure out what you're going to do. If you can take 5 minutes with yourself, get up an
That's
extra
right.
5 minutes early, pray, meditate, sit with yourself, get
Mm-hmm.
in style,
Mm-hmm.
and figure out what you need to do for you that
That's
day.
right.
So, Ms. Lisa,
That's
where can
right.
everybody reach you at so they can
That's
go to sleep to your
right.
voice? Tell them where they can find you at, please.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, so I have a podcast. It is Season Dialogue with Lisa Marie. It is available on Spotify, um, Apple, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. I also have a YouTube channel, Season Dialogue. You can follow me on Instagram, Season Dialogue. And if you are a TikToker, you can follow me on
Yes,
TikTok
yes,
as
all
well.
of that. Just know,
Hmm.
I followed you everywhere, everywhere. Like I said, I don't know how I would have slept last night.
Hmm.
It won't for
Oh
that.
my goodness. Listen, I'm about to take the advice of people who are telling me that I should do voiceovers for
Mm,
children's
do
books.
that.
That was
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
You
okay.
know, I
Once upon a
I, I thought
time I go to
about
sleep.
doing like a late night podcast. Man, nah, because I sleep. I'm sleep by 6 o'clock. My eyes is red wait doing this. But
Oh goodness.
we gotta make sacrifices. We
Hmm.
gotta make sacrifices. So yeah. But
Yeah,
Ms. Lisa,
yeah,
I thank
yes.
you. I appreciate you for coming on here.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure. I feel a little
Thank
bit famous
you.
talking to you. You know. Yes. Yes.
Don't
Yes.
do that.
Yes. Let me have my moment, okay? Give me my moment.
Oh, thank
Yeah, yeah.
you.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
okay.
reminisce. So,
But you know what?
okay.
I want to tell you this before you end. I want to tell you this before you end because I think it's important. So while others, sow into me, I want to sow into you. So usually I don't do that type of thing. But it was something about the earnesty and the honesty and the way that you asked. And what I love about just when you get a good feeling and an initial connection, you know that, especially when you show up in that space, like
Yeah,
the space in which we are now, it's like, I knew it. I knew he was that
yeah.
type of person that I would enjoy, that I would, have a back and forth with. I pray many blessings over you. Your slide ins to the videos are oh so cute. Like I love it.
Listen, you have
I
no
love it.
idea the
It is
feedback that I get about.
I love
"Dad,
it.
what how are you sliding in like that? You just like what are you doing? You got special socks
I
on?"
love
I'm
it.
like, listen, I can't give y'all my secrets. I just slide in,
You
you
can't
know.
give them the
I just
juice.
slide in.
I love it. It is characteristic of who you are, but it also
Yeah.
shows that you have a very playful and joyous spirit. But I love the fact that you are in mental health, that you are a male therapist. It is much needed, and more especially that you are working with children. I'm
You
just
sure?
so glad we connected. Like, I am glad that we had this because God said yes. And then, seeing you in this space, I'm like, yeah, he has a very good vibe and a very good soul. So I wanted to tell you that before we
Listen,
got off.
stop. Cut it out, man. Cut it out. I appreciate you so much. Listen, and like I'm gonna be honest, like I
You're so
typically will like
welcome.
do like a pre-screener call to, get a vibe off of people. I was like, oh nah, ain't no need for this. Ain't no
Yes.
need. Dive
We
in.
going
Dive
in.
in. So yes. Now, like
I
I said,
love
good
it. I
people.
love it.
All of
I
her
love it.
information, all of that, all of mine, it'll be in the description, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. I'll post it. Miss Lisa, once again, thank you. We slide in next Monday, okay? I got you. We
Thank you so
slide in
much.
next Monday. The people, always
Oh.
remember, keep the right mentality.